Earlier this week, we looked at a new poll which made it clear that President Biden's 2024 re-election chances were very bleak among voters in his own party. The poll painted a clear picture that Democrats are ready to move on. The ABC News and Washington Post poll found that 56% of Democratic and Democratic-leaning voters want Biden to sit it out in 2024, compared to just 35% who would like to see him run again. We had a discussion about it. We focused on why Democrats wanted Biden out. So you can understand why it came as quite a shock. Just 3 days later, there is a brand new poll that asks almost the exact same question and completely contradicts the ABC and Washington Post poll. The new findings from the Morning Consult and Politico found 59% of Democrats want the president to run for re-election, while 35% say he shouldn't run. It's almost just the opposite. Look, I've always been a fan of polls. I think people have sometimes unfairly denigrated them, even when there have been issues. Few people remember that on the national scale, the pollsters, in the aggregate, got the 2016 presidential election almost exactly right on the popular vote. But this has seriously damaged my faith in polls. I have no idea how to possibly reconcile the two. Just look at these two headlines from this week. One says Biden struggles, as does his party, as most Democrats look elsewhere for 2024. And the other says more Democrats want Biden to run in 2024. Let's ask John Geraci, who worked as a pollster for 15 years and is the author of Polarized: Why Americans Don't Trust the Polls and How to Fix Them Before It's Too Late. John, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. How can this possibly be explained within 1 week? Basically the same question, even if it's not exact, and the polar opposite results in both polls.
Yeah, I think what's challenging here, too, is the two pollsters that did it are quite reputable as well. These are not pollsters that have an agenda to push. The ABC News Washington Post poll, they get an A+ rating from 538. So, you really got to ask why. I looked into what the odds are that two polls with random samples could have these diametrically opposed results, and it turned out that it's about one third the chance that I have of winning the Powerball this Friday evening.
Really?
So there's no way this is due just to chance, right? This cannot be explained by just statistical fluctuation. It's got to be some other things that are going on.
Like what?
Well, I think if you ask the pollsters that did the polls, I can tell you what they will likely tell you, and then I'll tell you what I think it is, okay? If you ask the pollsters that did the poll, they're very likely to lean on the differences in the two polls and the methodologies. One poll was done online, while the other one was done on the telephone. But I think the most relevant one is they actually asked different questions. One poll asked whether or not Democrats wanted Biden to run, and the other one asked whether or not you want him to be nominated. And the pollsters will likely tell you that the difference in that wording is subtle enough to skew the results. I don't believe that because I don't think there's a lot of nuance here. There's a lot of correlations between all the Biden questions, whether you approve his job as president, whether you think the country's on the right track. It's sort of like everyone's just really asking, a thumbs up or a thumbs down on Biden question, no matter what question you ask. So it can't be explained by that, but I do think there are some other things that do explain it.
It seems to me that the difference between do you want him to run versus nominated is like saying the difference between saying do you approve of his job as president versus do you think Biden's doing a good job?
Yeah. I don't think there are certain questions I think are very sensitive to wording, like when you get to sensitive issues like abortion, gun control.
Yeah.
But who do you want to vote for?
But should this lead us to question? I mean, as you point out, these are two very reputable polls, right? Coming to such polar opposites on a fundamental question. Is it unfair that I'm suddenly saying, wow, this has sort of put a dent in my faith in polls?
Well, I think the problem we have is you're not alone. I did a poll for the book I wrote, and we found that only 17% of the American population currently trust pollsters, which is just a little bit higher than the amount of people that trust used car salesmen, and a little bit lower than the people that trust the federal government.
Yeah.
So the problem is the lack of poll. It's a cycle. We don't trust the polls, so we don't take part in them, which makes them harder to predict things, which makes us trust them less. And we can't break that cycle as pollsters for some reason.
Yeah. And now that we can buy used cars online, they're getting a little benefit there as well.
Maybe they'll come out too.
John Geraci, thank you very much for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.